Ah, Quebec. I guess. I'm Sam.
An old burnt-out house and 5 flies. I'm Jackie.
I think we're going to need to bring in a ringer to disassemble this one. This is the 400th episode of Stinker Madness, the Peanut Butter Solution. And I'm Justin.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me,
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
thrill me,
Beg for a left.
thrill me.
Hey, look at these!
It stinks.
That's good. That's good 400 episode stuff right there. Just leave all this in.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies, for bad movie lovers, by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. Our 400th episode, thank you to every single one of you that has listened to all 400. I know there's a couple.
There's a couple that have probably heard all 400.
Yeah, so thanks for sticking with us from the very beginning when we had terrible sound equipment and you couldn't understand a word we were saying because we were also drunk and giggly.
See, no, I would say that the front end was a little bit better than when we were in the Echo Room drunk.
The Echo Room.
With the office when you guys were buying the house.
Oh, yeah.
We had a couple episodes where we were in a really tall ceiling and there was a bad echo, and we were all really drunk.
Right, yeah, those were bad episodes.
Yeah, that was the one that you didn't remember recording.
Near Dark. I don't remember recording that. I got real drunk for Near Dark.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more chatty now
Yes, you are.
than I was in the beginning. Wasn't very comfortable.
Like, because you were sitting on nails or just because you're...
I don't know. I just was weird talking to nobody.
Because you're notoriously shy. Notoriously shy, Jackie. I said no one ever.
Okay, that's true. It's like I make friends at work every day. People that don't want to be my friends.
You just go up to them and be like, you have to be my friend, and you hold a knife at them, like, or else.
You put a small sandwich in their pocket and stare at them strangely.
Yeah, it's more of what Sam is saying. Like, oh, look, I got you a sandwich.
You know, we're besties. Okay. I guess. Scary lady. The Peanut Butter Solution from 1989. 85. Oh, shit. I was way off on this one. And it's Nonsensical November, as we should mention.
Sure.
This is about as nonsensical as they get.
Yeah.
Rivaling such other Nonsensical November episodes as Dreamcatcher and 99 Minutes and
88 minutes.
88 minutes. Well, it might as well be 99. And The Wicker Man. I would argue that The Wicker Man is maybe the closest as baffling to this as it comes, but even then there's a level of reality that The Wicker Man is grounded in that this never, ever approaches.
Well, I don't think that any of those other movies had a Czech surrealist working on them.
Sure. Right. We brought in Dolly for this picture. Oh, for a kids movie, huh? Yeah. Salvador Dali. He's notorious for kids.
I didn't read about this and I didn't know anything about it, and I watched it sight unseen, and somebody told me afterwards that Jodorowsky had a hand in it, I'd be like, okay, I buy that.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. Sure. Oh, Jodorowsky just kind of was an advisor on it, told him to do a couple things that really didn't make any sense. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, right. What else? What have you learned about the Peanut Butter Solution? Sam?
Well, the Peanut Butter Solution is the second film in the Tales for All film series. It are mostly unrelated. There's a couple of sequels, though.
Let's back up. The Tales for All films?
Tales for All.
Not Tales for All films. Tales for All films.
The film series.
End quote films. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
Tales for All.
Tales for All.
Who's the tale for this one? Like, I mean, who's this one for? Because it's not for all.
Bald kids.
Yeah, maybe.
Kids that have low self-esteem due to defects in their...
Maybe.
French-Canadian weirdos.
French-Canadian weirdos, sure. Yeah,
French-Canadian
okay, that's what it's
weirdos.
for.
Yeah, so There's 20 movies in this series.
Man.
The last one was on 2004, I think.
Were they how were they released?
Canadianly.
Okay, so like on CBC or something like
CBC.
that. Okay, like kind of like a afternoon special, like a Saturday afternoon special. Do you think?
I would assume, though, at the same time, Quebec's strange. They could have had a little small, sort of independent theater run too, because they did both. They did these, a lot of them, both in English and in French.
Oh, okay, all right. So you can't just put them on CBC unless CBC does regional.
So
Language. I don't know how that
CBC
works.
does French programming.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like on the same channel, like between the hours of 8 and 5, you've got French, and then 5 to 8, you've got English. Or
I should know this because I grew up watching Canadian
Right,
television.
right, as discussed last episode.
So when we had this, because it's like BBC. There's like CBC 1 through 3 or 4 or something like that, and I think one of them's predominantly
Okay,
French.
all right.
There's a French channel.
Okay.
Then there's Much Music, which
Right.
was like MTV, but it was free.
And only played bare naked ladies.
No, it played a lot of French stuff that had nudity in it. It was like,
Hey,
oh,
whoa.
fucking hot. That chicky's naked and this is okay?
It's art.
It's not. It was like heavy leather fucking. And you're like, that's art, right?
Yeah,
Just imagine if Whitesnake would have had a naked lady on their car.
well, I mean, she didn't leave a whole lot to the imagination, the Tawny Katane. Although
Yeah.
the first time she got him out when we watched Gwendolyn, I was like, there's a lot more there than I thought was going on in those Whitesnake videos. Maybe you're right, Jackie.
Yeah, no, it was funny because you were always like, Tawny Katane, what the fuck? And then like I went over and watched Gwendolyn with Roman and was like, hello, nurse.
Yeah.
And then you saw it and were like, whoa.
Hey, she was hot.
Yeah. So the guy that is in charge of these is named Brock Demers, and he did a children's film
Brock
that was...
Demers. Are you sure he's not a Canadian assassin by chance? Brock Demers? I mean,
No, but because of this film series and how beloved it is for... I have no idea why. He is an officer of the Order of Canada, which is like a Canadian knight, I guess.
Oh, okay. The Office of Canada. That's just where you call, like...
He's the officer. I know.
Yes.
Officer, yes.
I'd like to speak to Canada. All right, well, let me connect you to the Office of Canada. Hello, this is the... What's your question? How's things going? Good. All right, see you later.
And also due to the success of these, he was the director of the Film Institute in Quebec for a long time as
wow.
well.
Jesus.
But he started these and they just caught on like wildfire and they just kept making. I mean, he had a few directors. The director that directed this, Michael Rubo, he pretty much only worked for Demers.
Mm-hmm.
These are sort of the only movies they made. And on this one is the second one. The first one is called The Dog That Won the War.
Of course.
I don't know much about it, but what I do know is that they brought in the renowned Czech surrealist director Wojciech Jasny to help write the script and be sort of an advisor on how we're going to really make these children's movies more surreal.
Right.
Did they use the same dog? Because there's a dog in this one, Jim.
Oh, yeah, Jim the dog. I wonder.
Jim the Dog, I wonder
Yeah.
if Jim the Dog was featured prominently throughout these films because of his ability to sit still on camera.
Here's a funny thing is the peanut butter solution is a fan request from several listeners. So, and I remember talking to these listeners and saying that they watched this when they were a kid. And if you read a lot of the IMDb reviews, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I loved this movie when I was a kid, and then I revisited it as an adult and went, what the fuck is happening? I would be curious to see if any of our listeners listened or watched The Dog That Ended the War, or Saved the War, or
The Dog That Won the War? Now
Get-
you've got me confused.
got
on
a
what it was.
M60 and blew a bunch of Germans away. Dog.
He probably promoted peace or something, right?
Like he gave speeches at the UN.
No, it was like one of those things where like they're like, oh my god, it's a dog in the war. And a one-sided soldier, he pets it, then he looks up and the enemy is also petting the dog, and they realize that they're friends and the war is over.
And then the dog takes a big shit.
Yeah. Doesn't that happen in War Horse? I can't remember what happened.
A horse takes a shit?
No,
like
they become friends.
Oh yeah. That's the
even
end
though
of War
that's
Horse.
not really how World War I ended, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mostly ended with people's skin coming off.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
not-
know,
we don't want to talk
no,
about
not
that.
good,
We
not
just
good.
don't want to talk about that at all.
I think he peed on whoever he thought should lose. And then they're like, hey, look, he hiked on your guy.
That's his territory now. He has conquered Europe.
Yep.
It's his territory.
He pee-peed on your guys' ditch line. He made it over there and pee-peed on somebody.
Right.
We win.
So this
Surrender right now.
Do you have a dog that can pee on top of his pee? Because that's the only way you're going to come back in this, and then we're just tied. It's equal amounts of pee, and the other side's like, we don't bring dogs to war. We brought guns. Damn it, we lost.
Then a mad scientist comes up with the final solution and sends out a bum to lay in the dog pee and pee on himself.
And then the dog pees on the bum.
And then the dog pees on the bum, conquering the bum as well.
Well, not unless he's so saturated with his own urine that it's like impervious to dog urine. This isn't strange.
Wait till we get
400
to the movie.
episodes of this. So this it has a weird in common thing with another movie that was nonsense that we did before, Lady in the Water.
Okay.
So remember how, because we couldn't make any sense, that movie was so dumb. And he was like, well, this is the story that I made up to tell my kids because I am better at making up kids' stories to tell them than everybody else.
Yeah.
This movie is evidence of that. Oddly enough, the director Rubo based this on a story that he made up to tell his kids. No shit.
Mommy, Daddy, can we have a story? Sure.
Once upon a time, there was a kid who wanted pubic hair really, really bad.
There's a kid. I mean, dude, like, no, just because you said it one time doesn't mean it's a good story. You winged it off the top of your head. You can't make a movie after that. That's crap.
They've done it a couple times
Yeah,
now.
I guess. What a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah, well, this one is a lot more beloved, say.
Well, the kids fell asleep during it. It must be good. I should make a movie.
Yeah, exactly. The painting of the family tennis thing, this
Right.
giant-ass painting.
Yeah, it's huge.
And what's weird is that some of the paintings later are actually kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
The ones that were supposed to be the real that you could walk into, those are kind of cool looking,
right. Yeah.
But the producer loved that so much that he held it. It was the main entryway office painting for the 30-year run.
Oh, my God,
that these
no.
guys did these movies.
Oh, it's crap.
They're really strange, and I couldn't find out whether Michael Hogan actually Saul Ty from Battlestar Galactica, who's prominent in this film, if he painted those, because they're one where he's starting to do the black outline. It looks like those paintings,
It's
and
very
that's
similar.
definitely him painting that.
Right.
So I was curious, and I couldn't find out if he's actually made those paintings.
I believe that's how Jim Carrey got started in painting as well, because he started in this movie, because they're very similar paintings. Jim Carrey's not a very good painting guy.
I don't know. I think that his painting of the blockhead that used to be the press secretary was pretty accurate. It looked pretty real,
yeah, it's accurate, but right, yeah. These are very similar veins, way too colorful and mostly swirly, and everything is out of proportion. Like, this family tennis thing does not work.
I was weak in painting as an artist my whole life, and when I see something and go, I can paint that, that's my determination that it's not very good.
That it's crap, right?
Like, I can paint that.
I really liked the flamingo in formal dress clothes.
Oh my God, that might have been the worst out of all of them.
That was my favorite one.
Sam made a joke while we were watching this about it going to the art gallery and being sold for $25, and I think that that's rich. I think the thrift store that it gets donated to eventually struggles to get rid of it.
Yeah, that would be a thing that I would buy at Christmas white elephant.
Right,
that
it's a bad white elephant gift
for $5.
For $5, it's that bad.
Well, the parrot on the barbecue, yes, but not.
It wasn't. He was supposed to be relaxing,
Right.
But I swear to God, he's relaxing on a barbecue.
He's chilling out on an outdoor barbie,
and he's getting cooked. He's getting cooked alive.
I'm delicious.
Yeah. Do toucans taste nummy? I think they're protected, right?
Assuming that they taste nummy.
Maybe they're not protected in Canada.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why they're protected is because everybody's been munching on them for
Because Canadians
thousands
have
of
been
years.
after them forever.
Well, I mean, they like geese. Canadian geese.
Canada geese is actually what they're called.
Or just,
Yeah.
how does they call them up there? Geese. Like Canadian bacon.
It's fucking ham.
It's fucking ham.
Yeah, you like to tell that story on this podcast too. My Canadian friend, and I was like, "What do you call Canadian bacon?"
Like a dumbass.
Like, we call it fucking ham because that's what it fucking is.
Stupid asshole. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
He's like, we're not friends.
You guys slice it then. Call it something else. Whatever. The last notable thing about this film is that it is the first time that Celine Dion sings in English and is recorded. She
Right.
was a French vocalist, all of her early work was done in French language only.
So this is technically a career launcher, a superstar launcher.
It's a career launcher for, there's a bunch of people that, Saul Ty. This is a career launcher for him.
I don't know if I don't think Saltai's exactly on the same level as Celine Dion.
Who's Saul Ty?
The dad.
Michael Hogan
Michael Hogan.
He's the XO, the commander
Oh,
in
yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Drunk guy that's got a whore of a wife
Yes. Okay. Got it.
who ends up
Yeah.
being Cylon.
Cylon, yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
You haven't watched Battlestar Galactica yet. Shame on
Yeah,
you.
it's 20,
Really.
it's been 20
years.
Come on, go fuck yourself.
All right. Yeah, that's the size of it. Fucking Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Headlining Vegas now. Started out with this shit.
This won a Griffey, which I'm not real familiar with. It might be a Canuck award of some sort for Best Original Song. So it's not that just Celine Dion. She won a fucking trophy for it.
Did you notice how tasty that guitar work was in that song?
Yeah.
Like, it's shit, right?
Right.
It's like, it's Music Factory shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the Canadian Music Factory shit, they let dudes get pretty loose with the guitar. And I kind of liked it. I was like, man, you wouldn't be able to get away with that in most studios in America. They'd be like, fucking tone that shit down, motherfucker.
Right.
Tone that shit down and get the fuck out. In Canada, they're like, oh, man, Bob, fucking hit those strings, buddy.
Yeah, he subs for into Rush every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, everything is Rush in Canada.
Nice.
All right. Any final thoughts before we dig into this, Jackie?
No.
No, because I don't know if there's thoughts to be had. Which
It's just one of those things, right, that you just really have to talk about it as you go. Because I'm going to start jumping all over the place. And partly the way that this film is presented, it's really hard for me. And usually I don't have a hard time, remembering how a storyline goes.
Mm-hmm.
But because of how fucking weird this thing was, I have a hard time remembering how this thing goes.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
see. We see. I took pretty good notes, but it should be noted, it should be disclaimed that I'm going to make a prediction. Usually we will make tangents for the movie, like what we would think would happen in the movie in a silly, stupid, three people in a basement sort of way. This movie does that for us.
Yeah.
So we may be playing this pretty goddamn straight.
Maybe.
And it also should be noted that there's many, many scenes in this movie that we're not going to be able to talk about because they're so bonkers that you can't even describe what is happening on screen. What comes to mind immediately is the freak out that the dad has while he's painting the picture that you just talked about. And the acting is so terrible and so weird, and it just suddenly ends that there's no way that we could translate that in just talking.
There's a great deal of this film that when you're watching it, you believe that it's made by Martians pretending to be humans.
Right.
This is like, this is a human classroom with human children. This is what
Exactly.
humans do.
Yes,
And
very
they
much
don't
so.
know what humans do. And you're watching this and you're going, this is not what humans do.
No, it's bonkers. It's not just a weird story. The production and the directing is bananas. And the acting is these amps go to 11 in the acting. Everybody is yelling constantly except for Conrad, who can only mumble.
And oddly enough, Conrad was probably, other than Michael Hogan, had the most established career. He ends up in Degrassi.
Conrad's actor does?
Yeah, Conrad's actor does. I would say his name, but I would fuck it up bad because it's very strange and
Multi-syllabic.
And I swear to God that little girl that plays the sister, she's been in other shit too.
I thought
looked
that,
familiar.
but no, she's just got one of those faces, I guess.
Huh.
Just a Linda Blair-esque
sure.
face.
I should also mention that these films have won over 100 awards cumulatively.
Yeah, that's... Oh, man. Yeah, wow. All right, buckle up, fam. So this movie starts out with introduced to the two primary scamps in this film, Michael and his older sister, Susie. Now, Susie is filling the role of mom because mom has gone to bury her mother. Father, whatever. Lord Holster has died, and so she's in Australia taking care of that.
And selling the house.
But that's not really even flushed out very well.
Later.
It is later. You're kind of like led to believe immediately Mom has either gone out and got a pack of smokes and never came back, or she's dead.
I thought she was dead at first.
Right, because it seems like Michael is struggling emotionally immediately before he even has his hair incident.
It took me a while to get ready, kind of the rest of the way through the movie, to understand why this first scene is the way it is, with them like sort of seeming like they're having to take care of themselves. But after the story's gone on long enough, you realize even if it's only a week, their father is so ill-equipped as a parent that this is where they're at.
Right.
And he knows it and they know it.
The house is destroyed. Susie is making blender breakfast.
Yes.
Putting eggs in a blender and some other stuff and then calling it cake or something. The other thing that we can't describe in this movie is the language. Like it's almost like watching a reverse translation of a Japanese film, because there's some dialogue in here that you're like, what the fuck are, like, you hear the words and they do not make sense. But
it's
anyway.
almost like it's on purpose to make you go, what the fuck is, what are they talking about?
Right. Oh boy. So she's also, another aspect is the bathrobes. Like, the first bathrobe is kind of explained, but still vague, because Susie is wearing her mother's bathrobe, which then again leads me to believe that she's trying to fully fill the shoes of her dead mother. Like, I miss her so much that I must become her. I must be this person in all ways and wear her clothes. Later, I'm going to put on her bra and underwear and parade around in front. Well, no, I'm not going to go there.
I mean,
Weird.
Well, you know.
It seems like it's a dark place, but then as you get to realize, you're like, no, she's gone for a week, and this is kind of a zany household. It's not sad. They're just kind of wacky people.
Dad's upstairs. It seems to me that he's living in the attic in his art studio.
Yeah.
Because there's shit all over the place up there, like old dirty plates and sandwiches and bananas and, like, from last week. Like, this house is a disaster.
It's a nice house, though.
It is a nice house. Yeah.
They have an attic and a basement.
Yeah, well, a basement that's dubious later. We'll get into that as well. So Michael is like, no, I don't want your shitty cake blender food, and get out of here. And Susie runs up to Dad and she's like, I can't take this anymore. I get no respect. All I do is cook and clean, and you come home and say, where's my dinner? And nobody respects me.
And he's like, melodrama, it's been a day.
Yeah, it's 8:00 in the morning, and this guy's been on the scotch all night drinking and
he comes
painting.
downstairs with the fucking bottle. It looks like creme de menthe.
Yeah, he's liqueuring it up. Like, I'm a reckless drunk, kind of. I can't drink real stuff, but I'll drink this schnapps at like 8:30 in the morning.
We should do that at some point. Like, we should just have a schnapps day where we start at 8 in the morning and with like 10 bottles of schnapps between the three of us.
And then just double dragon for 10 hours after that. It's going to come out at either end, and it's going to be bad. Schnapps is not like something you can drink a lot of.
I think people do, Sam.
Really?
Yeah, I think people get hammered on schnapps because it's fucking cheap, man. So Conrad comes over, and Conrad appears to not have a family, but he's sort of adopted them as his family too. Like he can come in whenever he wants, eat their food. Sometimes he has breakfast, but mostly he just wants grapes because he loves them. And he's dressed like Michael J. Fox was when he travels back in time again in Back to the Future 2. He's like a kid noir.
He's dressed like Michael Jackson.
No, he's
Yes,
not.
he
Yeah, he is.
is.
He's dressed like Michael Jackson from one of the music. I can't tell you which music
It's
video.
bad.
Is it bad? The hat. The only thing
No,
is he doesn't
bad.
have the red liner on the coat, probably because they couldn't find it. But that's what they were going for.
I don't know about that. He looks like he's going to solve some
It's
crime
right in
later.
that time period. They wanted him to look like.
Yeah,
he likes Michael Jackson.
Or he is sitting inside of an office with a bottle of scotch and looking out the window when she walked in.
He's got zippers on his knees.
Yeah.
He does have zippers on his knees.
He's
That's
Michael
pretty
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
He's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Is this the same kid from Indiana Jones?
No,
No, not even close.
not even close. He wasn't
because
Degrassi
they're
Junior
Asian
High.
and children. Therefore, they're the same guy. Come on, Jackie.
They look like the same person.
No, you're just racist. That's it. That's all. You're just an asshole. They're
And
totally
so is
different.
everybody involved with Temple of Doom.
Dr. Jones! Dr. Jones!
Short round. Really?
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Goonies Data. I mean, that's kind of also
That's
No.
fine.
Data.
You can be a smart person of any ethnicity, and he just happens to be Asian and good at math.
I mean, I guess it's not racist because Andrew Yang can go out there with a math pin on him, on his jacket, and, that's totally cool.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, no, he was at the debates wearing a pin that all it said was math.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
I'm starting to get won over by Andrew Yang quite a bit, guys. I'm not going to lie.
That's kind of like I kind of want to stop the podcast and high five right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to like him quite a bit. Anyways, so I don't know if I want him to be president, but do I want him to be my best friend? Probably.
Yeah.
And not probably, yup. Okay, so he Conrad comes over and he starts talking about how there was this fire last night and this mansion burned down and there was fire trucks and cops everywhere. And he's like, it was so cool. Oh, also there were some bums inside of it and they died, but it was rad.
Just a lot of people died.
A lot of people died.
Or they're walking by it later. I want to jump ahead, but when they're walking by it later, he's like, people just died in there, man.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What?
Why were you talking about why it was so fucking cool?
It was
breakfast.
the sweetest. Yeah, breakfast talk, man. Blood and guts everywhere. And like this one lady got so hot her head exploded. Sweet.
And Dad's like, whatever, schnapps.
Gulp, 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 gulp.
I swear to God at this point, too, that he turns around and passes like a little snifter of it to, just like a little shot glass of it to the little girl. Like, here you go, Sally.
If you're trying to act like mom, you should do it right.
Yeah, right.
Start drinking at 8:30.
So Michael then says, funny story about bums. I was walking by the bank yesterday and I saw a bum, and so I gave him some change, and I think he might be the dead bum. Because apparently this town's pretty limited on bums. So now I feel pretty crappy about that bum getting burned up that I gave money to.
He's like, I wonder if it's still in his pocket.
He's going to go back to get it.
Yeah,
That's what this whole thing's about. That's why he goes into the house. I got to get my change back.
Like, that was silver, bitches. I got to get that back.
So yeah, they're like, okay, well, it's time to suit up and go to soccer practice. Susie ain't going to school.
She says, I don't know what she's doing. I think she's taking the week off.
Or she's done.
No, she's just, because she talks about school at other points. I think she's just like, this schnapps dad is such a handful with his paintings and his not cleaning
Right.
that I have to take the week off of school and care for him full time until mom gets back.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they go to soccer practice because that happens at the same time as school. They
Correct.
just go there
Yep.
instead. That's what they say they're going.
They don't even go to soccer practice. They don't even make it there. They stop off at the burnt house.
Yeah.
Because Michael's like, I want to see inside. And like Conrad, just 5 minutes before, was like, oh, I want to see inside too. In fact, Conrad even tries to climb up into the house and then goes, no, it's impossible. It's suicide. Can't do it. Don't do it. But then Michael climbs up there. Just no problem.
Suicide.
It's suicide.
You will slide down that and fall maybe 2 feet.
Down the sluice box that the fire department apparently has built out in front of this house for demolition, I'm guessing?
I can't tell if it's a burned house or a mine.
Right. There's gold in that house.
There might be. Probably what the bums were doing in there.
Eureka!
Jackpot.
Oh, my God.
The bums weren't in there looking for gold, Sam. The bums were in there to have orgies, dude. Duh.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's probably gold in there. Let's make it a toilet.
So they stop off, look at it, and they're like, all right, we gotta come back to this later, I guess. Because the next thing that happens is they're in school, they're in art class, and we get introduced to art teacher Senior.
Senor. The fucking fact that you're like, why are they calling him Senor? And then later on in the movie, like, he has changed his own name to Senor.
Not Mr. Senior,
Senor.
just Senior. His name is Mr. So, should we call you Mr. Senior? No, that would just be redundant. Just call me Senior.
the sort of prelude to art teacher Senor too is this. The principal of the school is standing in the middle of the hallway just telling people things that don't make sense. And then this guy that looks like he's graduating walks by with a dog.
Yeah.
And she says nothing to that. You're like, you're making up rules that don't exist, but you can just fucking roll through here with a dog whenever you want.
Art teacher Senor.
Well, he looks like he teaches at Hogwarts.
Right?
He's got the black, like, over thing. He's got a suit and tie and everything on. And he's got crazy hair. I mean, he looks like he's going to Hogwarts with his dog, who is his familiar. And then this dog is forced into art prostitution.
Jim, the dog.
Jim, the dog, is forced into art prostitution because he has to sit up on a block while everybody stares at his wiener and they draw him.
And Jim is a central character to this story. We're not just remarking on Jim because, oh, hey, it's a dog. Jim is a character in this film.
Yes.
He's part of the screenplay.
He's been named Jim very intentionally.
Yeah, right. Then art class gets pretty weird. It gets weirder than having an art teacher who's only has one name like he's fucking Madonna and it's Mr.
Yeah, it's weird, like, let's teach gallery from college to a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Right. And these kids are painting this dog as if they are 8 years old. Like it's like fridge art bad, which is just fine for an 8-year-old child. But Senor is critiquing them like they should all be Monet or some shit.
Yeah.
Well, and I know no 8-year-olds that go to an art class and use charcoal.
Yeah, right.
Like what? That's like advanced art
It's finger
crap.
paint.
Yeah, it's paste. Yeah. And you don't get art. You just get half of them to not eat the paste.
But he's like, "Oh no, your impressionism is too imaginative. This is impressionist class."
He wants to just smack them all in the face and say, "Just draw the fucking dog. Don't draw anything else. You're trying to draw the fucking dog."
Because the one thing you want to have when you're making art is no imagination.
No imagination.
That's the requirement for art is zero imagination. It's just still lifes over and over and over and over again. And even in still life, there's a sense of imagination. Jesus Christ, this guy has no business teaching art class. None.
Some of the ones that he likes are still not great.
They're still not even, they look the same as the other crap.
Can't tell any of it apart. It's what happens when if you were to do this, yes, this would happen, and this is what you'd get in real life if you tried to teach art like this to children.
Right.
So I'm not sure why he's surprised by the results.
Yeah, is this his first day on school?
I
mean,
guess.
this has been going on for a while, Senor.
Senor.
Plus, how do you even get a job? Like, fill out this job application. First name, Senor. Last name, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, then you can teach, like, oh, okay, well, it sounds good to me. We don't have to do a background check on you or nothing. I mean,
Well,
even in the 80s, come on.
I mean, and even later in the movie when they explain how he got the job, right? He's changed his name. He's been fired from like 4 other schools.
Right.
He's the great grandson of Rembrandt.
Right.
It's just okay.
It seems like that's all. He walks in and goes, I'm the great grandson of Rembrandt. I should be teaching art class. And the principal goes, that checks out with me. Go ahead.
Sure.
Get started.
Is that dog coming with you every day? Yes,
course.
He's my assistant. Perfect.
Yeah, that lines up. You've met all the requirements. Do you have a resume? No. All right, good. Because if you did, I'd tell you to get out of here.
Get out of here. No, your crazy hair. That's what we're hiring for.
So the boys go back to the burnt house, and Conrad's yelling about the suicide thing, and Michael climbs up, gets inside, and cut to him getting scared. He's had a bit of a fright.
He's been zapped by the fear.
Right.
His hair is actually like zapped electric straight up in the air.
Yeah, he's got cartoon hair. He's got King Ralph hair.
He's got King Ralph. He went the same way as the Royals.
Right.
Only he survived.
Right. And it scares him so bad he falls out the window down the sluice box and into a pile on the ground.
At this point, Conrad does not go for help. He just loads his ass into a grocery cart and fucking wheels him home. And then he can't get him up the stairs, so he tells his sister, like, Here's your fucking pile of a brother. He might be dead. I don't know. He's in this fucking shopping cart, though. I brought him here. Good job, me. See ya.
Bye.
That was one of the dead bums shopping carts.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not like Conrad could have carried him very well. That shopping cart was just left over there from the bag lady that burnt up.
Good thing those bums died. Otherwise, I would have just left him.
So Dad's like, so is he dead? Should we take him to the doctor? Or the doctor's like, no, I can't do house calls. I don't know why, because later I do a house call. Either way, Michael starts to wake up, and Dad's like, what happened? He's like, I went up to the second story, and I saw something, and now I can't remember what I saw, but I don't feel very good. I'm going to go back to sleep.
There was a long period in this movie where I thought that what was in the house was going to be the same thing in the suitcase in Pulp Fiction.
Right.
We were never going to get to see it.
Yeah, I almost think it would have been better that way. So the next day, Michael wakes up, comes downstairs for another bowl of blender breakfast, and everybody's a little surprised to see him because he's got no fucking hair, man.
Oh, he's bald.
He's 100% bald up top.
Yep.
He's still got eyebrows and eyelashes, I noticed, though.
Then he proceeds to go Anakin Skywalker on not having fucking hair. I've never seen anybody so fucking pissed off about not having hair.
He freaks out. Not like, dude, what's going on? How did my hair fall out? He is only concerned about the visuals of him not having any hair. Not, do I have like some sort of radiation poisoning? Was there like a gas leak in there and it scorched off all my hair? What the fuck? He doesn't care about what happened to his hair, just how much bald he is.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's crying.
He is crying.
And then, we go through this weird period where he's not going to school, and, he's down in the basement playing a drum solo.
We're gonna go line by line because we gotta dissect this movie. We're not gonna skip anything here, Jack.
His life is over. That's what he's
over.
acting like.
Yeah.
And also, like, even for a kid whose life is over, I have to compare him to Anakin Skywalker because he's being that much of an insufferable douche.
He's being that much of a butthole
about his fucking hair.
Well, in his defense, he did look pretty ghastly.
I mean, if a bunch of Tusken Raiders had come in at night and shaved his ass, he would have fucking got a gun and murdered all of them.
Yeah.
The women, the children, all of them. And then Princess Amidala would have been like, here's my boobies.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
starting to
bone.
like you.
Yeah, you're the,
Once you drop your lightsaber and prove to be completely fucking useless, I'll be in love with you.
You should use the force on my butthole.
Rapey, murderous douche.
Yeah, that's how bad he is. And Dad's like, dude, it's just your hair. It's not that big of a deal. It's gonna grow back. Like, feel my face. I shave every day, and now it's all stubbly. So it grows back, bud.
I feel like real Canadian dad would have just plopped a toque on him.
Right.
And not said anything, and he would have been like, oh, sweet, eh?
Yeah, get
And
your
then
ass
he's
outside, eh?
Back to playing soccer or whatever.
What's a toque?
They're cool hats.
With the little strings?
Yeah.
Right.
I want a toque.
Don't you have like 3?
Yeah, we
Okay, yes, I do.
I mean, we live in Idaho.
You have one that's
we're
a
basically
frog.
Canada.
I know, right? That one's the best one.
Yeah.
It gets pretty cold up here. We all need toques, eh?
I've got a few.
Yeah. So Conrad notes that his pet ant is dead. At some point, Conrad has picked up an ant because he was obsessed with not stepping on the ants earlier, which I thought Conrad was just being weird. But now he's got an ant in the box, and it's dead suddenly.
Yep.
Is this related?
I think it was supposed to be comical. Like, oh, my friend, look at my pet. Oh, God, it's dead, just like your hair.
But
But then it was like, oh, everybody's laughing at his dead ant.
so it,
And I'm like, oh.
but it wasn't funny.
No.
No, but maybe in Canada it was fucking hilarious.
He's got a dead ant. Dead ants. What? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Not to mention you can't keep an ant in a matchbox. It can get out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
And why
an
would you
ant.
keep an ant? Like, the whole premise of this ant business is just like, is it
Yeah.
a red herring?
I don't know. But
I don't know what the ant is.
It's just there was one there, and they got a shot of it, and they're like, we're going to keep using this. Let's just keep rolling with this ant thing.
This-
Conrad likes ants now.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's very surreal.
Right. So the next day they take Michael to the doctor because guess what? He woke up. He didn't have any hair growing back.
Yeah.
So Dad's like, okay, there's something wrong. And the doctor's like, well,
It's alopecia. Movie credits roll.
yeah, right. So I've ran all the tests I can. We've stuck him in that loud machine that makes you very uncomfortable and you can't move. Otherwise, we got to start it up again. I don't know what the hell that thing's called, even though I'm a doctor. But I've got a prognosis. He's got harem scarum.
I tried to figure out where that saying comes from, and I couldn't. What I did find out is that
It's stage 4.
in 87, there's a band from Quebec called Harem Scarum that does quite a few albums, and I'm kind of thinking this shit spawned that.
Man, I don't know, man. I think it's just a gag.
Where does the saying come from?
A harem scarum?
It just rhymes.
Yeah, his hair has been scared.
I know, but it doesn't like Harem Scarum is like it's spelled harem like women sex thing.
What?
Yeah.
What women's sex thing?
Like a harem?
Oh. The band's name is.
No, the term harem scarum spelled like that too.
Uh,
I don't know what it means.
okay.
Means you're afraid of dicks.
Like Helter Skelter?
No, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that this was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, I
And
think
you're
it's just a joke.
overthinking it.
Yeah, I think you're overthinking
I know.
it.
I heard Chico Marx say it one time too.
Okay. The same joke?
No,
Wow. It's too
he
bad.
was doing like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing. It was harem scarum, nothing's harem, and then he just says a lot of things.
All right. So Conrad gets pulled into the art teacher's closet, into Senior's his office, as it were.
It's a
But
closet.
it's just a closet. It's the janitor's closet. There's even fucking like liquid chemicals in there, like cleaning solutions and things of that nature, to get yelled at because Michael's not showing up to class.
And he knows that something's wrong with his little friend.
Yeah. What's he doing? You will tell me. And Conrad's like, can I go now?
Yeah,
Why am I in a closet with you? Why do you even have a closet?
I'm a kid.
I'm a kid. What the fuck, man? I think Senior might need to be fired.
I don't even really know if he works there.
He might not.
He just started showing up one day and they're like, well, we needed an art teacher and he's not asking for a salary.
Right.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Milton, except for Milton did work there, I guess. I don't know. So Michael's now having nightmares. And because he has no hair.
Yeah.
He's dreaming about going back into the house and seeing what was in there, but he still doesn't remember. He can never get all the way through the dream, the nightmare, and he wakes up screaming and freaking out and running into his dad's bed and divulging that he needs to see what that was in order to be whole again. A, he needs hair because he looks like a fucking freak. And B, his words, not mine. And B, he needs to see what scared him so bad.
His pajamas are kind of awesome too.
His bathrobe?
He's got a bathrobe and pajamas. He's got pinstripe pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Right. Everybody's got a bathrobe and pajamas in this movie. That's all anybody wears is bathrobes and pajamas.
Yeah.
It's great. All films should be like this. All lives should be like this. So Senior gets called into the principal's office to get lectured because she found out that he's a fraud.
Yeah.
He's a charlatan.
I think the best part of the scene is right up front when she's like, your fucking dog is in here, and it jumps on her couch, and he's like, yeah, that dog's bad. And he just lets it stay on the couch.
Yeah, he's a bad dog.
It's like, that's Jim. He's going to fucking do whatever, man. I didn't say he was a good assistant.
And I think she fires him, right?
She doesn't. She's just like, we're onto you. You're full of shit. Buster. And then he's like, all right. And he leaves. And he's like, come on, Jim. And they leave, but he doesn't seem to be fired. She doesn't say you're fired.
Right.
She doesn't say clean out your janitor's office that isn't
Right.
yours. Stop teaching art. None of that happens.
None of that happens. I don't know what the scene is as well, how it is in the plot. This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Conrad comes over to the house, and Susie is upstairs playing piano, and she's playing very well.
She's a virtuoso.
Yeah, she's basically playing Chopin. And meanwhile, she's struggling to concentrate, even though she is still able to play advanced Chopin while struggling to concentrate. That's how good she is. Because Michael is downstairs busting a Rush-esque, a Neil Peart-esque drum solo.
This is like a 3-minute drum solo.
And it's meant to, I kind of think it's meant to be played like he's just banging on the drums in anger. But dude, he's fucking killing it as well.
Yeah, he is. And he's like mad and he's getting distracted, but he's like, I still gotta, I can't, this is gonna bust up my groove even.
I think he's crying.
He's crying. Yeah, he's anger playing because he's gotten away. And Conrad's like, sup, dude? And he's like, get out of here.
Well, he tells him Senor got fired.
Right.
And then he's like, I don't want any visitors.
I'm a human freak. I'm an abomination. I am the thing that should not be.
I'm disgusting.
Just fucking all over the drums.
And then Conrad just turns around, doesn't say anything, and just shuffles off. It's hilarious. So the family's like, okay, this dude is falling apart. He's a train wreck. We got to pull him out of this. So they go and get him a toupee.
And it's an ape drape. Yeah. They're like, here, you look normal again. Here's a fake ape drape.
And he's like fighting him. He's like, no, it's not real. Don't put it on me. I don't even want to touch it. And then they have to pin him down and put this fucking rug on his head.
They show him and he's like, yay, life.
Yeah, all of a sudden his confidence is back.
He's got a stride in his step.
Yep, he's ready to go tackle the world, but wonder if it won't stay on.
Yeah.
Right.
Then his sister's like, no, we just glue it to your fucking head.
And she does.
And he's like, yay! He's fucking scoring goals.
Yes.
All the women love him. Life is great. Because he's got a fucking fake ape drape.
And nobody can tell.
Oh, but during the soccer match, the opposing team's got this one kid.
The enforcer.
The enforcer. Oh, God, who trips him. And Michael comes at him hot, like they're going to get into fisticuffs.
Yeah.
And this kid just kind of pins him down and pulls off his wig.
All the other, like, he gets up. Normally what would happen to the yellow card? You get a free kick, probably, right?
Right.
But all the kids are like, swing at him. Swing at him. And he kind of gives a half-assed one, and you're like, ooh, that's not a good-looking punch, Mike. You might stick to soccer because boxing ain't going to be your thing. And then they goad him into it again, and then he winds up and really tries to let him have it, and it's just like, whoa, that is not a good punch.
No.
The kid steps back.
Yeah. And if he wouldn't have, the arm would have gotten limp when he hit him.
Yeah. Which causes him to get his wig pulled off, and the glue is like still stuck to his head.
Yeah.
And it's in slow motion, and like to the viewer, like, oh no, his wig.
Yeah.
Oh, tragedy has befallen poor Michael once again, and they chase him down the street, and they have the kids have a Michael has no hair song. Like they already wrote it and practice it and chant it as they're chasing him home.
Both teams. His own friends are with the other team chanting their You're Bald song.
Everybody knows he's an abomination.
Yeah, because not having hair is the worst thing that could ever happen.
That's right. And apparently this is just widely known throughout all schools. Mm-hmm. Because they have the same song for bald people.
No, this is Michael's song. I thought the same thing, like, look at the freak with his stupid head. But it's look at fucking Michael with his stupid head. Michael, who lives over on Elm Street.
Just got done playing soccer. Now he's bald again. That's the guy in front of us. This guy right here.
I mean, maybe every song, maybe every school in Canada does have that song. But I'm pretty sure it's about Michael.
Yeah.
Middle of the night comes, and he goes down for a snack, or I can't remember what he's doing down in the kitchen.
He's just having a nightmare. I think he comes down maybe for water or something.
Yeah, and he sees something in the basement And so he goes down into the basement, and there's well, we'll just say it. There's 2 ghost bums down there.
No, at this point, they're just vagrants invading his house.
Well, they're ghost bums.
They are ghost bums, but right here you have a hard time because they don't magically appear.
Right.
They're in there, and they're stealing all of his food. And they leave through the door with the box of food. He's being robbed by bums.
And again, he was in the kitchen and then goes down to the basement where they've got another kitchen.
Well, I think he actually just sees them in the basement, but then turns around and they're like rummaging through. I think they're in the kitchen.
Jackie?
I wasn't sure what was happening, but I know that at the end scene, they were in the kitchen. They were looting the kitchen.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. But yeah, they're just stealing his pantry goods during this whole time of them explaining their weird, crazy ghost bumness to him.
Yeah.
Like, we're ghosts. Don't worry about us. We burned up in that fire, and I'm Fred, and this is Mary. And Mary's like, you got to say these words. And she gives him a recipe that he has no idea what is.
Yeah.
But he is like, okay, I will do whatever you say. And after each line, it's, 5 dead flies, put them on my head.
Yeah.
What else was in there?
Spoonfuls of soil,
Right.
a fistful of cat litter,
Right.
peanut butter,
Right.
1 rotten egg,
Right. Put it on my head.
and then some kind of fizzy mouth
Yeah.
Mouth water.
water.
What the fuck is mouth water?
I can't. That's what she said. Mouth water.
She says it's the best mouth water. It's not just any mouth water. It's like Orange Crush of mouth waters.
I can only assume that it's like Listerine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe like Listerine. Is it just a translation problem?
No, I don't know.
or
It's one of
shit's
those.
nonsense.
There's a number of lines here that just seem like they're intentionally nonsense.
Yeah, right. So they bail out the door like ghosts do. And
Yeah, they're like, we're ghosts. We're stealing your food and we're leaving out the door because we're ghosts.
we've got your Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
See you later. He starts making it immediately, this recipe. And it takes him a little while, and he wakes up his family because he's running around doing all this shit. And his dad's like, no, you can't drink that, because he's making it in the blender.
Yeah.
And so his sister grabs it and flushes it down the toilet.
His dad has no idea what's happening. He
None.
just grabs him and he's like, dump it down the toilet.
It's drugs! I know it!
Yeah, it's not anything bad. It's just gross.
Right. It's just mush.
I'm still not sure where they got the mouth water, but
Yeah, he did. I guess he ran down to the 7-Eleven and said, I need the fizzy stuff. They were like, here's your mouthwater, sir. That'll be $18. And he's like, can I have some lottery tickets too?
yeah, and then they scratch him at the counter and you're like, Jesus, there's other people here. At least stand to the fucking side. Your fucking lottery tickets. It leaves gross shavings everywhere.
So the ghosts come back that next night and they're like, dude, what the fuck, man? We gave you the recipe. It's in the toilet. Wait, you got to put it on your head.
He memorized it for that whole night,
Right.
but then like totally forgot it, I guess.
Right. And they're like, nope, well, you don't get it because life sucks, so you're doomed. And the old guy's like, oh, come on. Give it to him one more time. And this time she just gives him the whole paper.
Well, no, the old guy takes it from her
Oh,
and
yeah.
gives it to him, and she's like, man, and then they disappear, and you're like, I guess they're ghosts. But last time they pretty much robbed him.
Yeah, right? Ghosts get hungry, too. So he makes it again by candlelight in secret. It's very secret. And he's downstairs, and nobody can hear him, and he gets it done.
Yeah, and it's too, because he's stirring it this time. He's not using the blender.
Right.
But it's too viscous.
Right.
And he realizes more peanut butter is the only solution.
Right, the peanut butter solution. Because otherwise it's going to run down his head, and he's going to have streaks of hair growing on his nose and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that.
No.
So he gets it right and paints his head with the gross stuff. I'm assuming this is just the recipe for Vegemite, because it looks like Vegemite and probably tastes like Vegemite.
Huh.
Yeah. You ever had Vegemite, Sam?
No, I haven't.
Ooh, it's gross. They love it.
Huh.
They love it, though. They think we're freaks for eating peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
Oh, this should be noted, too, because this is Skippy's fucking high-dollar product placement. They apparently gave him a bunch of money to make this, and they got one fucking shot.
Right.
I was like, really? That's what they got? That sucks.
So, sure enough, he leaves it overnight, wakes up. He thinks he's still bald, but immediately, the next shot, it's not like later that day, it's growing. This hair is growing.
Uh-huh.
Way too fast.
He's like, eat shit, Rapunzel.
Yeah, what you got? Eat shit, Rogaine.
Well, it's like his sister, by the time that the sister runs up and tells the dad that the hair is growing and comes back, he's got a buzz cut.
Right. Goes from stubble to a buzz in about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Conrad comes over, and he's already starting to work on a mop top by that point.
Yep. And then they go upstairs, and he's got a full fucking head of hair.
Yeah.
He's already got, it's not just the ape drape, he's got hockey hair now.
Yeah, he gets to school, and he has Ariel's hair from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. He looks good.
Up there. Conrad has noted his hair and been like, man, that is an impressive, you look like fucking Bruce Linklater. No,
Yeah.
not Bruce Linklater. The guy from Megaforce. What the fuck is his name again?
Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick. You got Barry Bostwick hair, man. That is impressive.
Yeah.
Can I have some of that? And I want to take it home because my dad is bald too.
He's a little snippy and forceful. He's like, spill it. What'd you do?
Yeah.
What's this? No, spill it.
Give it
now. Give it to me. What is it?
Give it.
What'd you do? Give it.
Give it. And Michael's like, you're not bald. Look at all that hair. And he's like, I want it for someplace else.
He's straight up pointing. He's like, I want it down there. Now get out of the bathroom.
Conrad wants to put it on his junk.
He does put it on his junk.
Yes.
That happens in this movie.
A kid has decided to put the peanut butter solution on his crotch so that he can have a full plumage
of puke, because that's going to be great.
I'm 8. I need beaver or bush.
Pubes. I need pubes. It's going to be great, I guess.
It's going to be a whole new day for Conrad once he gets pubes.
Oh, Conrad.
Yeah, this part was like, that's a little iffy.
Right.
Like, why are we? Okay, yeah, they're actually going to do this. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, he's
he
in the
did it.
bathroom.
Yep.
With,
oh, man.
and then, it happens.
So he goes to school. Everybody knows it growing, like, right in front of him. The teacher's a little dubious about it, but there's no choice. Eventually, his hair is live growing in front of everybody. I mean, he comes home that day, and he's essentially become Cousin It.
Yeah.
That's how much hair he's got. He can't see.
He won't. He refuses to get it out of his face.
He
either. He's
can't.
just
There's
like,
too much hair, Sam.
Yeah. Can't have soup. The curtains are in the way.
Right. So now Conrad has to cut his hair at all times, at all day, because it's just constantly growing. He's soon gonna have to get like a hedge trimmer and just back and forth.
Well, and Conrad's got pubic hairs hanging out the bottom of his pants.
Yeah, it's now grown out Conrad's pants. We have seen a child's pubes in this movie.
The math teacher finally is like, this snipping is getting out of control. At which point, this is where the tears start. This is where the tears start flowing when you laugh too hard at this movie.
Right.
Conrad's trying to cut his hair, and he explains to the math teacher, he's like, look, he has to keep cutting my hair or it'll just grow too long. This is the only chance I've got.
The only one.
The only chance I've got. I can't leave. I want to become educated.
And it's with conviction.
With conviction.
This kid delivers this line. I want to be educated. And the teacher's like, nope. I can't deal with you getting your hairs. And he's like, there's kids that are clapping behind him. Like he almost gets the slow clap for his I wants to be educated speech.
No, this is like it's a huge applause. They're like, yes, this is the social message. Education.
I don't want to be hairless. I want to be educated.
And he's like, fucking shut up, you two. Principal's office.
They get expelled. They are kicked out of school because of because of Michael's hair.
And Conrad's kind of like,
and
the principal
Conrad's
kind of
pubes.
it's coming out of his pants. And she just kind of looks at him like, you know what? I don't even want to fucking know,
We
Conrad.
can't deal with you two.
I don't even want to fucking know. Both of you get the fuck out of this school.
You're expelled. Not like maybe we should go talk to a doctor about your hair situation or like try shaving your head in the morning or anything. Nope, get the fuck out of here.
Get the
Freaks.
You fucking freaks. Thought it was bad when you were bald. Now that you got hair, join the circus. That's the only path for you, monkeys. Oh my god. Then Michael is now having hilarious nightmares.
Yes.
Where dogs are chasing him.
Is where you cry again because wild dogs have found him in the park. And it's not just some German shepherds, and they seem like they might be mean. I don't know. But they attack him viciously and then finally drag him through a shot by his hair. And it is so fucking funny looking.
For their own evil ends. Oh, man. Ugh.
And he's got his hands on his face like, oh, no. No, my hair's too long, and these dogs are dragging me off to a certain doom.
So the next day he gets up and he's like, I'm going to school. Fuck them. I must be educated.
Yeah.
And Dad's like, you can't go to school. They kicked you out. And he's like, I don't care what they did. I'm going. But it's super windy. so he has to take a nap under the porch.
Of like the neighbor's house.
It's not that he's like, he's blown into the porch, but the only thing he can do is close his eyes and go to sleep. Which causes him to then get kidnapped.
He's just, yeah. And then there's a paper that, like, the headline's in, spinny paper shot.
Michael kidnapped.
And then another one. And then all of a sudden, 10 students
10
missing. You're like, wait.
children missing.
Wait, what?
Oh, my God. It's Senior. Senior has grabbed Michael and these children and has put Michael into... Is Michael asleep? Like, did he drug him, or is Michael just so deflated by his life path that he's like, well, that's it. I might as well just lay here in this contraption.
He's given up.
I've given up.
Senor has talked him into this being best for everyone.
This is the best option. You're actually helping people now, whereas before you just were a monster. You scared the other children by how much hair you had, and people were going to throw popcorn at you inside of a circus tent. Now you're helping humankind. So just lay there.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Meanwhile, now there's 20 children
20
missing.
children have been missing. And Senior has made a haircoat.
Senior is now a fur trapper.
He is wearing a coat made of Michael's hair.
Yes.
It is creepy as shit.
Hey, Jim has a matching coat, though.
Jim
the dog.
has his own matching hair coat.
And he's running, well, we don't find that out yet. Now we've got detective kids on the fucking case.
Conrad and Susie are like, we got to figure out where everybody's gone. We got to get Michael back. So we're going to, because Dad has broken down. By Michael's being kidnapped, Dad has lost his shit and is upstairs.
Doing what he does all the time.
But also smashing things.
Oh, that's right.
Very poorly.
He has the worst fit of rage I have ever seen.
It's real bad. It's real bad and hilarious.
Yeah. He got much better for Battlestar when he freaked out. We'll just say that.
Boy. And so they're like, well, we can't do this alone. We got to get Michael's dad to sober up or whatever the fuck is his problem. We got to pull him out of the doldrums. So they're like, their plan, I guess, is to go to the art supply store and buy him some nice paintbrushes. So he's like, hey, kids, thanks for some nice paintbrushes. Let's go find Michael. It seems like a pretty dubious plan, but whatever. While they're there, they find a paintbrush that is made of human hair, not just bristles. This hair has been, I've cut this hair. This is Michael's hair.
The art supply store clerk says, this is the hottest new brush.
Mm-hmm.
They're $20 though.
That seems like a fair price for the hottest new brush.
Well, that's plastic and it's human hair. It's not going to work. It's a piece of shit. It's not worth $20.
Well, I don't know. You see what he paints later with.
Well, that's true. But they're magic.
Well, nobody would have got him off the shelf, I guess. Anyway, so they're like, hey, what's the story with this Michael brush? And the guy's like, I don't know. Some wacko shows up on Saturdays in a red van. He goes by the name Senor.
He first tells them that he doesn't know anything.
Right,
then they
right.
buy a brush and he tells them everything they need to know.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking shiesty motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, I don't know. Oh, you want a $20 brush? Well, let me
Well, in
tell
that
you all
case,
about it.
Yeah, I'll dish some dirt.
Perhaps this will make you remember. Oh, it does, actually, yes.
Senior's coming back on Saturday to deliver another batch of brushes. Wait a minute, that's tomorrow. So it's now Operation Kid Sting.
Yep. Very unassumingly, they wait in plain sight.
Doing kid stuff, though. Reading comic books and
Yeah.
playing with yo-yos
Just
and
general loitering. You
general
wouldn't question it.
children loitering.
Yeah, with a, hose and a bag of sugar.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. You're not supposed to notice that. So he shows up, Senior does, goes in to deliver things. Conrad sneaks into the van, and Susie hangs out because Conrad is going to make a sugar trail behind the van that leads Susie directly to where the kids are missing. Or
Also,
stolen.
Senor gives a very poor attempt to kidnap Susie.
Right,
He's
right.
just like, hey, you want to get in this van? And she's like, no. And he's like, okay, see ya.
You want me to wear your skin like a suit later? No, I'm good. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Have a nice day. So she follows the van for quite a ways until she runs into the street sweeper, which has swept up all the sugar, and now she's lost the trail.
She didn't really look upstream very far.
No,
I'm
she
just
didn't- she didn't try
She
that.
gives up pretty fucking easy. She's like, I tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas. Fuck it, I'm going home.
You get out there and find that fucking dog.
Well, and here's the other weird thing about this whole thing, right? Is that you see the red truck, and then you see her coming around on the bicycle, and all these bums are getting up from the shadows
What is up
and
with that?
and shit, and they're all like clapping for her and cheering her on.
Yeah, Susie.
Like, do these bums know you?
Do they know what she's doing, or like, oh yeah, Susie's gonna get him, that guy that stole all those kids that we were gonna steal because we're fucking bums and we're bad inherently. I don't know where
I
my
don't
joke was
know.
going. I don't know what's going on. It's very strange. It's another slow clap scene, just like the classroom thing.
There's this one, and they're just throwing every shot they can get in there to get all the way through this Celine Dion song.
Right, that too.
Yeah, they're like, we're paying for this with this fucking song, so let's go.
So now she's stuck. She doesn't know where he's at. So Senior has now discovered Conrad and taken him into his child labor factory, which this whole thing is Michael's strapped to like a conveyor belt, his hair is, and it's just getting cut by a machine, and these kids are attaching the hair to brushes so that he can sell these to art supply stores. It's a big scam.
He's got a sweatshop going.
Yeah.
Mai Ling, Conrad's sister,
Right.
who has seemed to benefit from her parents' sea change in naming their children. She's there. They've all got pink gis on.
Mm-hmm.
Because, karate.
Right.
Or sweatshop.
Labor.
And they have to make $500 a day.
$500 a day.
Or they don't get any food.
They don't get any food.
It doesn't
Sounds
seem,
about right.
doesn't seem like that many.
It doesn't seem like that many because they show how to put these things together. It seems like it takes about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think that, Senor's halfway reasonable for a complete human piece of trash.
I kind of think he's not charging enough for these magic paintbrushes, to tell you the truth, because these things do a pretty goddamn good job. $20? I mean, man, you're gonna flood the market with these. You gotta charge I think you could charge like $30,000 for one of these paintbrushes, like instant Rembrandt.
It's better than that. They're
Yeah.
magic.
Right? They're magic. They're magic. Michael's hair is not just massive and flowing and constantly growing. It's magic.
Yeah.
Okay. Conrad's like, so how do we get out of here? You guys try to escape? Try some gadgets or some traps or the old switcheroo or snatch and grab or the old banger, blowing a blaster. They're like, no, we can't do any of that. There's only one way to escape, but we already tried it. It's through the magical painting portals, like fucking Doctor Strange.
Yep.
That all have gym in them.
That all have gym in them. because Senor has, I guess that's how he discovered that Michael's hair was awesome, is he painted some, I don't know how he figured this out.
He's
Put
going
two
to
and two
paint
together.
Jim, and then all of a sudden, whoop, this is fucking crazy.
Michael.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're like, they're not just cool. They're not just good stills. They've added some post-production bullshit to these that are like
They're alive.
There's a whole thing on like in digital art of doing this where you're making looping GIFs essentially of really cool art. There's a name for it. And I can't fucking think of it.
Sparkle
Stuff.
Either way, it's animation.
Yeah, the rivers are glistening, the streams. It looks cool. This is the only thing that they didn't really fuck up in this movie.
Yeah.
But apparently if you go, you can walk into these paintings and it's a whole nother world, but you can't escape because all of these are imagined places. Even though he was lecturing about making imaginary art earlier, now he's doing it willy-nilly.
He's the only one that can use imagination,
Yeah,
damn
I
it.
guess.
Well, and I do have a question about this scene.
Okay.
So we all know that Michael is attached to his machine, right? And he's pumping out hair.
Right.
But if Conrad is still pumping out pubic hairs, why isn't he attached to some machine like a bull rider and it's just spreading down the machine and they're making a different line of brushes?
Right.
Conrad yells at his pubic hair to stop growing, and it does.
Oh my God, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
And then apparently, I guess it all just falls out because that's not a thing anymore.
Well, maybe he just trimmed it to the proper length.
Yeah, maybe.
He
But
gave it a permanent.
he does yell at his hair and it stops growing. I thought that maybe it was just a bad cut, but no, that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Oh my God. And at first he asked nicely, like, stop growing. Hey, stop growing. Stop growing! Maybe it's just hard of hearing hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So somehow the doctor's back involved, and he's like, so here's the deal. I've got a brother named Senor. Oh, that's the guy. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know where he is. He's a bit of a loony. But I've got another brother named the Rabbit, who happens to be your fucking art broker.
Yeah. And the fourth brother is dead because it's the fucking ghost bum.
What?
Yes, the ghost bum is the fourth fucking brother.
Holy shit.
Which this connects everything and now makes less sense
and
than it
connects
would
nothing.
have if they weren't related.
What the fuck is up with these brothers? I thought it was weird when there was three of them. Like, wait, the Rabbit is the dad's art broker? And you're the doctor? And Senor's the kidnapper?
Yeah.
And now there's a fucking bum that burned up and told him about a recipe to grow fucking hair on his head?
Yeah.
I totally did not catch that the bum was the fourth brother.
Wow. That is, man.
This is not helping.
That is a bombshell, Sam, that
Yeah.
we've just laid. Let's get fucking Wolf Blitzer to come in here.
He would shut the situation room down.
Right.
It's like, this situation is fucking...
I quit.
I'm out. Like, pull the plug. Launch the nukes.
That
I'm
is
done.
too big of a bombshell. Nothing can compete.
He wouldn't even freak out. He would just look at you and go, get the fuck out of my office.
All right, so they're like, all right, well, let's go see brother art dealer and see where Senor's at, because he's apparently the only one that knows where he's at, because Senor's been coming in there with his magical paintings and the Rabbit has been selling them like an art broker, and nobody's questioning, like, where are these magical paintings coming from?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, take them, enjoy them. They're $25. Seems like a pretty good deal. And he's like, okay, fine. I'll tell you everything. Just don't hurt me. He's coming back on Friday.
And the dad's like, it's only Tuesday.
God damn it.
He doesn't even do that. He's like, it's only Tuesday. All right, see you later. And I go back to being a fucking weirdo in my attic.
Yeah. And Conrad is back at the factory during a while at night, I guess, and Senor's sleeping, but he wants to go see Michael, and his little buddy is like, you can't, because there's invisible tripwires everywhere that if you touch one, it'll wake up Senor and then he'll eat you.
He's got a ring that's attached to a bunch of strings like he's a fucking spider.
Right. Yeah. But his buddy's like, well, if you gotta go, take my invisible string detector.
I invented
I
this.
invented this.
And it's just some cloth.
Right.
On the end of a stick.
Uh-huh. I guess if you're going to detect invisible strings, that's how you do it.
He didn't lie at all. He did invent it. It does detect invisible strings. It's just a little underwhelming.
So he gets through. He goes up to Michael, and he's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to get out of here? And Michael's like, nope, this is the best option I got, being stuck in this hair machine.
Yeah, he's defeated. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I talked about it with Senor, and this is just going to work out better like this.
Yeah, just leave me. Go on without me. I'm done for. And Senor wakes up, and he's like, hey, kid, I got you. And he's chasing him around, and eventually grabs his sister as a hostage. Like, you ever want to see your sister again, kid? Well, you got to play ball.
Yeah.
Conrad's like, I got no choice.
There was some real action here. Conrad almost kills him with darts that don't have a reason to exist.
No, they're not part of his art thing. I don't know.
They are
They're
dubious.
art darts.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the life-size school teacher on his wall, the principal from the school, and he's
Right.
throwing darts at her.
Oh, because she fired him.
Well, it seems like he's got a better gig. Why would he be mad?
Right? Because he's not good at business, and he's actually making less money than when he was poorly teaching art class because he doesn't know the value of his own paintbrushes.
No, he doesn't.
Anyways, so he puts Conrad up in this net and starts spinning him around, and Conrad's like, oh, I'm going to be sick. And, yeah, kid, you don't like the dizzies, do you? And Conrad's like, oh, I can't go on. I need a dad. Will you be my dad, Senor? What?
You're like, huh? And Senor's like, fucking A, kid.
Hell yeah, I'll be your dad. I've never had kids before, and I've kind of always wanted some, so, yeah, I'm your dad now.
I'm your dad now.
What the fuck is going on? It's so weird. And so now the film goes on, and Conrad's like, so what do you think about this, Dad? What do you think about that,
Yeah.
Dad? And, well, son, I've always thought that, a man should be honorable, and this is how you shave. And they go on, like, picnics together, and they're outside playing catch, and Conrad's like, I've got this guy so snowed right now. We're playing catch. He gave me his ball cap that he wore when he was a kid. This guy's got it coming.
Meanwhile, yeah, and is this the point where Conrad has unveiled his master plan? He's gathered everyone into this auditorium area, and he's like, see the giant canvas. Now, Dad, paint the building, the mansion that got burnt.
Yeah, I want to see what Michael saw. I want to see what scared him. And so now, like, the kids love Senor. Like,
Stockholm is set all the way in.
Yeah, it's gone Stockholm-y. Yeah, you're absolutely
'Cause
right.
they're like, oh, he's nice now that you're his son. But you're still in a kidnapped forced labor situation. So not great.
Not great.
Things not great.
I'm Patty Hearst. But not Conrad. He's playing the long con.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, oh yeah, go ahead and paint that painting. And so he paints the house in cartoony fashion.
Well, he's
with his
dancing
brush.
around
Yeah.
and shit, and he's
Right.
being all funny, and the kids love him. And
This is where I would have, like, if somebody told me Jodorowsky had something to do with this scene especially is like, whoa, this is very Jodo right now.
Yeah, right. And so he climbs in. He's like, I'll go check it out, kids. We can't see what scared him from here. I'll go check it out. I'll go into the painting. And he does. He climbs in. It's fairly good mat work right here for a shitty budget movie.
Well, right here, when he's in the painting, that's straight up just a projection, and they just did a really good job lighting everything.
Yeah, they did a good job. So he goes in there. He gets scared, and he falls tumbling all the way out of the painting. And so now he's got the fright, I guess.
Scare.
The scare. Scare him. Outside, Susie has found the sugar trail. She's picked up the trail back again
So
for all this time.
officially, Papa Shakedown, totally pointless.
Yeah, totally pointless. What the fuck? And the bums are no longer cheering.
No.
So Conrad wakes up Michael, oh, right.
So now he's figured out that the scare has transferred to Senor and thus turned Michael's hair off.
Right. His hair is no longer growing.
As it's a secondary method of doing that when this whole time he could have just been like, Stop it.
Stop it, hair. Ugh. Yeah, so he's like, I'm going to go into the house and see what scared me so bad. I've been wanting to know. I've had dreams about it, but I've never got it done. Those dogs scared me quite a bit, but I guess that wasn't what scared me. So let's go see what's inside the house. So he gets up in there, and it's just the bum ghosts. It's just the people that were stealing his goddamn cereals.
Yeah.
They're in there being dead and ghosty.
Yeah.
Sup? We're ghosts. He's
Hey.
like, oh, that's it?
That's it.
Huh. How about that? I guess I don't need to be scared of you guys.
Nope.
No, we're just ghosts, man. We're cool. We're just chilling. We're not like Slimer. We're not going to eat a bunch of hot dogs and then leave a mess. We're just going to hang out. Maybe watch some Magnum P.I. later. Want to come by? You like the Jets, kid?
No. The Alouettes.
Senior is now awake, though, and he's become Walter White. He's completely bald and looks like Heisenberg. He's chasing him around. He's like, oh, I'm going to get you. And nets a bunch of them because the networks,
Yeah.
of course.
Networks.
Ooh, networks. But he trips over his own tripwires and causing Michael Conrad and Mei-Ling to escape out of the factory, but they get hung up at the garage doors. They
can't get out, yeah.
That's so close.
Well, here's why. They keep pushing. Turns out it was a pull.
Yeah, it was a pull.
Because right when they think that they're going to be captured again, Dad busts through with his fucking karate. Even though he's the only one not dressed to do karate.
Right. He's still wearing his artist stuff, and he comes in. He's like, you stop it, or else I'll kung fu you. Wait.
Blah! And then the police leisurely stroll in after him.
What seems to be the problem?
You let that guy take you apart, huh? Huh? You like that? You like that?
Oh, man. They take the kids home, and Mom comes pulling up. She's back from Australia. Mom. And he's... meanwhile, Michael has still got...
Really long hair.
Joe Dirt's childhood hair.
Yeah.
And they're like, we missed you. Yeah, I missed you guys too. Credits.
Yup.
So it kind of leads me to believe, like, hey, did they even tell the mom
Anything?
that Michael went missing?
Right, or like that he's had this whole traumatic experience this whole time? Because at one point, Michael goes to call his mom, and I think that's the first time he sees the spooky ghost. He's like gonna call his mom and tell her everything, but then he hangs up because Mom can't be talked to. Isn't there another scene later where he calls and like they can't find her or something?
I think after the nightmare with the German Shepherd where they drag him off.
Right.
Or no, it could not have been that. I don't know. So there's one point where he jumps in bed with Dad, and Dad is like, no, don't tell her about your baldness because it's just going to stress her out.
Yeah. Well,
and apparently being missing for 2 weeks is also not worth a phone call.
You know, she's got things to deal with down there. She's got a house to sell.
We got to just gloss this thing over. The last time that she left for 3 days, we ended up in Cleveland. I don't really know how. A suitcase full of panda meat. She was sore. She was sore about all of it. She's going to be pissed about this. We know that we can't function not only as humans, but as anything that makes sense the second that she leaves. So we got to just not tell her about this.
What the fuck is this movie about, guys?
According to the director and the producer, that it's about what you said. if something scares you, take a better look at it. It might not be that scary.
Yeah, but that's such a microcosm of this film.
But that's all it's saying. Everything else is just bananas.
It's just bananas around this very small He-Man-esque type, the moral of the story type thing.
G.I. Joe half episode.
It's barely referenced in the middle that he says something about, I want to see what scared me, and then it goes away for an hour and a half, and then comes back at the very end, and he's like, oh, okay.
See, I thought it was about being bald as being ugly.
Or he takes it a little fucking too much. I mean, we all know, the Fast and Furious guys look great while they're bald.
I think the irony is that 4 years later he sees Michael Jordan for the first time, and that hair comes right the fuck back off because everybody did it. We all did it once. We're like, we don't look as good as Michael Jordan. I need to grow this back.
Yeah, no point. People picked on him. The only scene where he gets picked on for being bald is where he gets a wig pulled off his head. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Not that kids should pick on each other.
Yeah.
But I mean,
his reaction really sort of
that's where the
causes the response.
Dude, you're 8 and you're wearing a fucking wig? Ha 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 ha! Not, dude, you bald fucking nightmare.
You're a freak.
I think he could have been fine just being bald. Lots of kids are bald.
Yeah, he freaks out.
He freaks the fuck out. It's not like he grew. I mean, don't forget that in like a year and a half, his entire face is going to be covered in fucking pizza. He's going to be an acne magnet.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're a fucking monster.
Yep.
Not, dude, hey, man.
Half the time he's going to have a boner, so he's just sticking a trapper keeper in front of his crotch like that actually hides it.
Yeah, when you're straight up bald, you're a bit of a tough guy.
Yeah.
I mean, mercs are straight up bald, dude, kid. Yeah, that's cool. Own it. Lean into that shit. Start, asking little Molly if she wants to go to the Sadie Hawkins dance, and she's like, I guess I don't have a choice. Otherwise, you might kill me. You dangerous bastard.
Dang.
What?
Because he's bald. He's dangerous, There's a element of danger when you're bald. Because you're tough.
Yeah. It's like Dr. No, only he's Dr. Yes, please.
Ooh. Yeah, it's baffling what this movie's about. But who else wants to ask a question?
Why is he the rabbit? That's such a really specific nickname.
Well, it's like a crimey name.
It's a crimey name. The rabbit.
We got to see the rabbit.
We got to see the rabbit. The guy that always gets away is the rabbit.
Right?
He's a fucking art dealer.
At the most crimey, he's just a fence.
He's just fucking everybody.
Ooh.
He is fucking everybody.
Well, no, because he's
In
selling
the
those
art
paintings
world.
too cheap,
No,
which
wait.
would flood the market and then fuck everybody.
Remember his commission, though? When he was talking about, I could sell this
Oh,
for
right.
$6,000. You'd get 4 of that. Like, I think you're gouging.
Yeah.
You are. That is high. Maybe Jackie's right. He's a rabbit because he fucks everybody, and he has a nickname, the rabbit, and they just let him fuck him, I guess.
What do you think commission should be on? Like a small gallery?
Everything like that's 10%.
I always think maybe 20 at the high end.
I think on a
but
high
he's
end,
he's at 33%. That's high.
so I think that they actually add things like, so if they put on an event for you and there's wine and a bunch of shit like that, it's probably going to be more like 20%.
Yeah. Okay, but the third? Come on, man. What is this?
Yeah, thirds, that's steep.
60-40. I guess that's not a third. That's
Yeah.
well, no, it's a third.
He had 33%.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah, like he's like, hey, I'd sell that for $6,000. You keep a few bucks for yourself.
Yeah, he's covered in fine pelt and tastes delicious, and he's a fucker. That's what he is.
Yeah.
What a dirty dick. He's got no choice but to be the rabbit. Okay. Good question. Good answer. Did the peanut butter quantity, the volume of the peanut butter, fuck up the recipe? Was the recipe legit? Like it was a straight up good hair growth solution, but he put too much peanut butter in it. That's why it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. Fucked it up.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it seems like this whole thing is a 4-man job.
Right, because of
the
the
bum
brothers.
is the brother.
Right.
This is like a thing.
Okay.
So everybody wins on this deal of the brothers, except for the one who's dead, because he died.
Maybe he isn't dead.
Well, in the one scene, it seems like he's straight up just a vagrant that's robbing a house.
Right? Jackie, you got any thoughts on this?
It's the peanut butter that causes his hair to grow too much. The old bum lady even says, if you
Oh.
put too much peanut butter in this, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but you won't like it.
Oh.
But she's not part of the brothers. She could be like a. Hey, I told you not to. I mean, stick to the plan here. This
Yeah.
is part of the whole the peanut butter thing. Got to do the peanut butter thing. She's like, I'm dead. And he's like, no, you're not. You're not really dead. We didn't burn up. I just conked you over the head and then put some soot on your face. So, you're a spooky ghost. But, dude, come on. Spooky ghost. We walked in through this kid's kitchen door and we're eating his cereal. Spooky ghosts don't do that.
No, they don't.
Yeah, right. No, I like that it's a whole crime thing. We got to catch those Falcone boys.
It's a conspiracy between Magic Brothers.
Magic Brother.
For bullshit paintings that you get at truck stops.
Which leads me to my final question. How does the trial of Senor go?
The trial of Senor?
Trial of Senor. Because he's arrested. He's taken away.
That's true. He
Yeah,
is.
Yeah. So how does the trial go? Is it like the Menendez? Is like, is it the trial of the century, like OJ or something, and everybody's tuned in and there's,
No, the Canadians aren't going to put that fucking shit on TV.
They got to get Cochran in there, He's like, well, it's all about magic crime. We're going to need Johnny Cochran on this one.
Yeah, no, it's going to go very normally. He's going to get 20 counts. He's going to be in for a while.
But magic crime, guys.
They're like, where's the court TV? They're like, this is Canada. We don't have that. Fucking asses. You think that went south? Weird. Put it all on TV. Shit happened. Weird.
I object, sir. You're the one that's talking. I know. I'm saying magic crime defense. I object to my own defense. Just take me away. Anybody else?
Nope.
How is that possible?
Because there's nothing to ask.
It's just also
Because it's so, why isn't the principal a human? Why isn't... And this isn't really a question, but it's like, I feel like when the mom walks out of the car, this movie gets back on planet Earth and all that weird shit goes away.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it is all like reality crumbles away for this family when the matriarch goes away. Maybe that's like what we can put it to in like a sense, is that without her, it's all shit. So
It's all
guys and kids, make sure you give her a nice foot massage on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll give you a nickel to rub my corns.
Ugh. I didn't say Grandmother's Day. I said Mother's Day.
Do you rub the corns with the nickel?
Oh, God. Do it with the side with the building. It's more riches.
Grandma, I'm going to need to rub those corns with the belt sander. Okay, go ahead. You want one of these gross candies? Grandma candies.
Yeah, the wrappers don't come off because they're 15 years old.
Yeah, they're hard. Gross.
You're like, yay, and you act like you get it off and you can't, and you just sort of like put it in your mouth and spit it out later, and somehow it all ended up on your hand.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is it on my hand? It was 15 years old.
Yeah. All right. That's your show, guys. That's our 400th show. Again, thank you all for listening. Tell your friends, and we'll try to get to another 400. Might be a chore. We'll see. But anyways, final thoughts, guys?
We have to, endorse whether we want them to watch the movie or
Oh,
not.
right.
Too.
Final
Yeah,
recommendations.
final recommendations. We
400 times.
400 times we didn't fuck that up, but today we did.
This one's a do from me. I loved it. It's bananas and nothing. Maybe I would say maybe something like The Holy Mountain is weird, or Suspiria is as weird as this, but those are more like visually. They're visual films.
They're surreal art pieces meant for adults.
Yeah, they're art pieces meant to be visually weird for the sake of being visually weird. This is just weird because it's written by space people. So do it. I loved it. Jackie?
I loved it too. I thought it was zany and weird, and I liked the characters. I liked that Jim was just not a prop dog, but an actual character in this movie.
Right.
He served some purpose. I felt bad for his prostitution issues.
His prostitution issues.
His art prostitution issues.
Oh, right.
Where he had to show his wiener to all
Where
those
he's a
kids.
whore.
But I loved it, and I'm going to give it a due.
Nice.
It was fucking weird, and I liked it.
It gave me 2 of the hardest laughs that I've had all year.
Yeah,
I was in tears.
I was worried about, like, maybe you were going to get hurt. Like, you're laughing so hard. Like, oh, dude, we're not going to finish this. We're going to have to take Sam to the hospital because he's going to burst a blood vessel in his eye.
I want to be educated, and him getting dragged away by those dogs by his hair was so fucking funny.
Yeah. No, this is a visual. This is as visual bad as you can do. It has to be viewed to be understood.
Not just that I give this a due. They released all 20 in a box set.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost like you should probably try to find that box set.
Right, maybe.
What would it be called?
The Films for All.
The
Tales for All.
Tales for All.
Yeah. This one is currently on YouTube. There is a badge transfer for free. Don't do the good transfer for $2.
$2 is totally worth it. They did a good job shooting it.
Yep.
It's in 16:9. It's definitely worth the $2.
Yep. Absolutely. It's worth, I would say this is worth owning, but yeah, so it's a little hard to get your hands on, but $2 on YouTube. Just do it that way. Have a great week, guys. Next week is Sam's pick. Any clue, Sam, for 401?
No, because I was going to do my Christmas movie yet, and I was a week early, so it's going to be another Nonsensical November.
Yeah.
It'll be a surprise, though.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be more nonsensical than this one.
Possibly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Unless I find another one of these.
Yeah, right. Okay, guys, enjoy your week. Get to the chop. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.